older than you, you need to respect me. I don't do that with any of my friends. Most of my friends are younger. Some of them are older. I never be like my boy who probably like 26 be like, oh, I'm older and you need to respect me. Nah, man.
Or like you need to listen to what I'm saying.
You need to listen to what I'm saying. You know, nah, man. I'm earning your respect.
Exactly.
Like so I can imagine a person with ageism and living right, like just going about their life. I don't even know how that even works to me.
I think it cut off around like right now. I'm 30. A lot of my friends that were like 36, 37, I could see a lot of them having it. They were a little older. But I think once it came close to our generation, I think it kind of dropped out. Because even same thing with me and all my friends growing up. Like, I was always the youngest. I was always mad. You're like, well, a couple of years older than me and shit. All my friends like that we all grew up with. But I was never treated differently because I was the youngest. You didn't get that. Like, oh, you're the youngest. So, we all kind of value each other.
Exactly. It's a value, respect, and whatnot. Like Nat, for example, she's young. I never asked like, yo, Nat, like I'm like, I'm older than you, but I'm like, I never put that on.
What's the point of it?
What's the point? Where am I going from that? I see Nat as like she's old soul. Like she's like a soul elder. You know what I'm saying? Like your age, your soul and your age is like it's crazy how you could be older at a young age. So why
I read something that I was like, it's in linkage to teenage depression.
Really?
Like if you suffer from depression when like you're in a teenage, like you tend to be considered an old soul.
Oh.
Because you see everything basically like kind of like realistically.
That's interesting.
Well, to be honest with you, I mean, time is man-made.
It is man-made.
It is.
Like we could be older than we think, but that's a whole other.
And numbers. That was if someone wanted to say. There's 365
You've
days
existed.
in a year.
This body exists.
Well, the way they calculated the thing rotating the sun, it was like astrologers and everything like that.
Yeah, but so that's what they consider a day.
Astronomers. Wow, astrologers. Not horoscope. Sorry, guys.
But even though to be like, who knows that it was supposed to be 2 days of light, 2 days and then
like
it
the hours.
Yeah, like you don't know what was supposed to be a day. In the creator's eye, in like whoever created the world, you don't know what they.
I mean, there's other time, maybe in other galaxies and other universes.
That's what I'm saying.
That's why they talk about dimensions and stuff like that.
Yeah, we could be 1,000,000 years old.
Because imagine someone come from another dimension, come in here and be like, "Oh, I'm like 2 years old," and they look like me. Mm-hmm. But then their two could be like 2,000.
Yeah,
like Supernatural with Jack.
Yeah, with Jack, old soul.
Yeah, we just and that's the thing is our soul. That I believe age is way different.
Oh, absolutely. I'm definitely old.
I feel like it also gets reincarnated a lot too.
Yeah.
Yep. And then you're like, damn, that's another experience. It's like a video game to a video game.
Well, see, I don't think reincarnated. What I think is that our soul. Oh, then we talked about it on the pod with Zach, and it's kind of. I think souls are like always there, almost like an angel. You know how we call it angels. Mm-hmm. I believe they're souls. So then, when everyone is born, I think they get a new soul. So the body is just. Hold on, okay. Nat's coming in about a minute. Nat's coming in. So I just think our soul is kind of just a passageway. No, I mean like our body is a passageway for the soul. Once we die, I think the soul is still there.
So you don't think it goes anywhere once it feels like its purpose?
It could go. It could go maybe in another one after it's out of the body. I think that when you.
No, my question is like, do you feel like because I feel personally there's always a life lesson in each life that you have. Mm. So do you think the soul continues going until it learns its lesson, and after it learns its lesson, where do you think it goes?
I think it always goes. I think it always goes.
What do you mean?
Like I think the soul is always. I don't think it changes.
No. But I'm saying it's the same soul. But
yeah.
Say your soul, right?
Yeah.
Your life lesson was to be more caring towards people.
Yeah.
You managed to complete that life lesson. What do you think is next for the soul? Do you think it'll go let's say to heaven if you believe in heaven, or hell?
Yeah. No, I think it's still always out there. I don't know if it actually.
So you think it's multiple lessons?
That's a good. Yeah, that's a good point. Like I don't think it learns the lesson. I don't really know if it has a lesson. I don't know if I see it yet as having to learn a lesson. I just think that's the soul. And I do think because of the human experience, we somehow alter it a little bit. You know, like I think we always had that soul, but I think somehow in that human experience that we have, because in our bodies, something I think has some sort of effect on it. Maybe so minute, but then if it changes the soul, it changes the soul. You know what I'm saying? But I think they're just all out there. I think that's part of the universe, and there's actually a study. It's crazy, but it has something to do with DNA, right? So there's a study that Sean Stevenson told the audience about was that. So he took a bag of called photons. Photons is basically what our existence is made out of, like what this is made out of.
You mean atoms?
No, it's called. I don't know what the
photons. I think are the light particles.
Well, that's what makes an actual existence. So they're saying they took just that. Like it was an empty vacuum bag, just whatever photons were just there. And then they said they actually did a study where they took human DNA and threw it in the same thing with the photons, like those particles, right? Then they took the human DNA out. So when they put the human DNA in there, first they were just scattered. When they threw the human DNA in there, they clung onto the DNA. So wherever the DNA was, they attached onto it.
That's what the robots will do to us when we become the Matrix.
No, but and like I said, this was a 100% study. So
no, but I'm just saying, I think the Matrix will be happening.
It's crazy,
if you're saying this study,
it's
no, and this study was clear. So like I said, whatever makes up the universe, like you said, those we can't even see. When the human DNA went in, it attached right to it. Then the most scary part is when they took the human DNA out, they stayed in a spot. In
the position of the DNA?
Yep. And never went back.
That's it. Matrix.
So with that actually, to be honest, the analogy that he was getting to it was that our effect here in the universe matters so much. That like, you know how like when you talk to a plant, positive to a plant, they say that a plant is supposed to live longer and stuff like that. Hold on, my bad. Hold on. But you know that like that that method, right? I'm sending that this password. So basically, they're saying that is kind of equates to that. That's the reason why, because our DNA and is so impactful, pretty much that it impacts the fucking world around us.
Okay. Which
is crazy when you really think about that in like large scale.
Yeah, I could see it.
Like that if it impacts that like that, like actually universe, which like is that. Just.
But I mean, do you think it just because the thing is, it's like with the human DNA, do you think it just stays affecting everything after the body is gone?
Yeah, I think it still affects it.
Well, I mean, there was something that I had heard like back in high school. I don't know if it's true, but basically, like the air that we're breathing now is still the same kind of air that the dinosaurs used to breathe. So, what do you think? It's like similar to that?
Yeah. I mean, how does the air?